Today we're going to be making a butternut squash, and I have here the butternut squash, olive oil, 1 onion, we have curry powder, coconut milk, fresh ginger, 3 cloves of garlic, 2 carrots, and a vegetable broth that I made. So, and of course salt and pepper to taste. So let me go ahead and get all this stuff prepped, and then I'll get right back with you. See you in a little bit. Alrighty, and we're back. Okay, we're gonna start off with a 1/2 tablespoon of olive oil in a heated pot. You can use whatever kind of pot you want, because this is not really like something that'll be really sticky, but I've already preheated the pot. So to that, I'm gonna go ahead and add the chopped onions. And the carrots. And we're gonna let this sweat until the onions are translucent or soft. Then I'm gonna go in with the curry powder. We have 2 teaspoons of curry powder. I'm gonna have everything listed for you, so don't worry. And we're gonna let this go for about 10 minutes, for stirring it occasionally, just to make sure that nothing sticks to the bottom. I'll try to pull this over a little bit. All right. Right now I have it on a medium high. I'm gonna go ahead and bring it down to medium so that we can get a nice slow caramelization, well, lightly caramelization or translucency on the onions. So I have here 8 ounces of coconut milk. I have the chopped ginger, and I have the chopped garlic. I have the 8 ounces of vegetable broth, and then of course I have the squash, the butternut squash chop. Also, as just for a garnish, which adds a nice crisp, is a little green onion cut on a bias. It's really good. It adds a little extra crunch to it when you're eating it. Also, while the soup is simmering, I am going to toast either some pumpkin seeds or sunflower seeds, which adds a little bit of a little kind of roasty, kind of toasty crunch also on top of the butternut squash soup. I'm going to lean in and bring the camera in a little closer so that you can see the bottom of the pan, the pot. Let's see. Bring that in just so you can get a better visual. Let me get some pot holders. It smells so good. We have some here. All right. Okay, let's see if I can kind of give you a good visual of what it looks like. So we're gonna let that go for about another 5 minutes. And just keep giving that a little stir. Just to keep everything together, making sure nothing burns, especially the onions, because they can burn pretty fast if they're not watched. There we go. Looks better. There we go. All right. Just a couple more minutes. It's sweating really good. That's why it's not a whole lot of oil that you need. And anything that sticks to the bottom, of course, once we add the vegetable broth, it's going to lift all those flavors from the bottom of the pot as well. so happy to be with you guys today. How was your week? Hope everybody's having a great Saturday. The weather's pretty nasty here where I am. A lot of rain. Hope it hurry up and get really cold. But again, like I might have mentioned in a previous video, oh God, excuse me, been a lot of allergies all week. This is squash season, so there are so many different squashes that you can kind of just use at this season. And with the prices of like a lot of things right now, eating vegetable-based dishes is gonna be our best bet. Not only is it healthy, but it's more cost effective. So, okay, now that we got that going, we're going to start adding all of our other ingredients to this. Give me a second. To get a little water, water my throat a little bit. Okay, so now to this, we're gonna just start adding all the other ingredients. The only thing that we're not gonna add at this time is the green onions, because like I said, those are gonna be for garnish once we plate. So we're gonna go in with the ginger. The butternut squash. Kind of move that around a little bit. Smells so good and fresh and earthy. The curry powder and the onions just smell so good together. Okay, now we're gonna go in with our garlic. And to this mixture, after I stir it around, I'm gonna add the broth, but I'm not gonna use all of the broth, because depending on at the end when it's done, if you like a more thicker consistency or kind of looser consistency, you'll have a little broth left over to play with. So I'm gonna let this come up a little bit. I'm gonna turn the flame back, the temperature back up, so that once I add the broth, we can just put this aside for a little bit with the top on and let it simmer for a little bit on its own. And then after about a few minutes with the top off, we're gonna go ahead and add the lid to it and let it simmer for about 25 minutes. And that depends, I'm saying roughly 25, but it depends on the squash, because it's the toughest one to cook, but it's not as tough like a potato. So you want to kind of let that cook until they're soft, because I'm gonna use an immersion blender today to blend or to grind or to smooth out the butternut squash. And if you want to, you can use a blender, a regular blender, if you don't have an immersion blender. All right, so I'm gonna leave this alone for a little bit and let it get a little heated up real good before I add the broth. Oh, there I am beating the pot. Do not beat your pot. Don't beat your pot. It didn't do you anything. Just beating the poor pot. Alrighty, I don't know if you can hear that sizzle, but it's sizzling really, really well right now. So the only thing we have left to add is the coconut milk, which is 8 ounces of coconut milk. And I'll break it down into cups and spoons and all that stuff for you as well in the description. And then the vegetable broth. I'll also add the vegetable broth recipe in the description as well. All right. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna add about maybe 4 ounces of the broth, or 6. Let's see, I'll do 6, just enough to cover the squash. And then save these other 2 for loosening it if it's too thick. So once I get this going and get it up to a good boil or simmer, then we're gonna, going in with the coconut, then I'm gonna come back, and while it's simmering, I'm gonna go ahead and toast the nuts. That's gonna go on top as a garnish as well. And this can be eaten with like the bread I baked a couple of weeks ago. That's what I'm gonna serve this with today, because I put one of the loaves, the plain loaf, I put it in the freezer. So I'm gonna take one of those, take that one out, slice it, and toast it in the oven or the toaster. Add some butter to it, and we're gonna have that with the soup. Get all of that out of there. And again, there is coconut milk left over because the can is, I think, 13-ounce can. So out of that can, you only need 8 ounces. So I can either alternate with broth if it's too thick, or I can go ahead and add some more of the coconut milk. Either or. You have it, use it. Okay, might as well. So let me let you see, well, you can see from here what it looks like with the curry and the coconut milk. This is such a good, creamy, soothing soup, you guys. I hope that you make it. It's very, very good. Very, very good. And it's not a whole lot, you know, because the squash is just 1 squash, 2 carrots. You can kind of have it today. You might want to have some tomorrow, or, you know, and for the next 3 days. You know, if you go to work on Monday, take some with you for lunch on Monday. These are good, healthy, filling, and tasty meals that I'm sharing because, you know, we look for that flavor, we look for that texture, you know, so you can't go wrong with a soup. And I have so many soup recipes that I'll be sharing. Also, I'm gonna post this, hopefully, you're watching it now if it's posted, so it's posted. After you watch this, hopefully by Tuesday, I can post the greenhouse tour and my vegetable tour. I did a video to post for you guys, but the weather was crazy and it didn't come out. I had to keep stopping and starting, stopping and starting. So I'd rather just do the whole thing over so that you can have a really good visual of the greenhouse and the vegetables and things that I'm growing. I'm gonna give you a little sneak peek at something. These are the green onions. And this is what I do. I just keep the bottom portion, and this is how it's growing, how tall it's growing. And then it grows more of the root on the bottom. And I try to find like the organic ones if I can in the store. So once the green portion gets a little higher, maybe in another day or two, because this has been sitting for 3 days. Yeah, today's Saturday, Wednesday I put this in the water. Just a little water just to touch the root. You don't want a whole lot of water. And then every day I dump this water out and just put another fresh batch. So by Monday, what I'll do on Monday, no, I won't be in town. What I'll do tomorrow's Sunday. Yeah, I'm gonna have to do it tomorrow. I'm gonna go ahead and plant them, and I'll video me planting them so you'll see that. And this is really nice, and I have some already that's growing, and it's not yet ready to harvest, but it's really tall now. So you'll see in the video too as well. All right, so I'm gonna put this back, and then what we're gonna do, and I just have that sitting in the windowsill. So if you don't have a windowsill, just put it in your kitchen somewhere, you know, because you're always in the kitchen, there's always a light on. If your oven stove light is on, just sit it there near the stove light so it can get a little light. All right, so we're gonna just go ahead and let this simmer for 15 minutes, and then the total time that I'm gonna let this cook will be 25 to 30 minutes, and then I will come back and I will show you what it looks like. We're gonna test the squash for tenderness and the carrots and all that for tenderness. They should be fine because the carrots and the onions went in first. So we're just waiting for the butternut squash to tender up. And then after that, we're gonna move on to the blending process. I'll use the immersion blender today, but like I said, you can use your, if you have a regular blender, like the blender that you use to make smoothies or whatever, daiquiris, you know, you can use that blender if you'd like as well. Okay, so I'll see you guys back in just a few minutes, okay? See you soon. Okay, we've got this soup going to a nice simmer right now. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna put the lid on, and then I'm gonna go ahead and let this soup simmer for another 20 minutes or so. I'm gonna set my timer and then I'll be right back. See you in a little bit. Okay, it's been 20 minutes and it seemed like it can go another maybe 10 minutes. So that's what I'm gonna do. I just want you to get a look at how nice it's coming along. It's still on a nice simmer, a steady simmer. And I have the raw pumpkin seeds in the oven right now toasting for garnish. And then we're gonna go ahead and start blending all of the ingredients with the immersion blender or a blender. If you have a blender, you can use a blender as well. And you can use either the, whatever setting you have is puree. You don't wanna use chop. Usually most blenders have, standard blenders have the puree setting on it. If not, if it's like low, medium, high, just kind of get it on a rolling high blend to start, and then you can kind of bring it down to medium or low after that point. But you'll see the consistency once we start blending the butternut squash soup. Okay, so we're gonna let this boil for another maybe 10 minutes, and then we're gonna start the blending process, okay? All right, looks like we got a good simmer going now, and I think they're ready. They're really soft, and you can see the color change on the butternut squash. So I'm gonna turn this off, and then I'm going to take it off of this burner real quick. So give me a couple of seconds, I'll be right back. Okay, I got it off of the pot. And we're going to, I'm gonna smash these a little bit around with a potato smasher. If you have one, you could use that. Or a fork or a big spoon. Just kind of loosen them up a little bit. Let's see what that looks like. It's really good. Okay, so here I have the immersion blender. I'm gonna go ahead and start creaming the potatoes, the butternut squash and carrots. It looks so good. Don't look like I'm gonna need to add any more broth to it. So instead of using the full 8 ounces, I use 6 ounces. Have one of these, be very careful because the soup is hot. If you're going to be using a blender, go ahead and let this cool down first before putting it in the blender, and you want to put it in the blender in batches. So have like a bowl, a large bowl, preferably glass or metal bowl handy, so that as you're blending, you can just add it to the bowl. Smells so good. It's almost buttery, and I didn't even add butter to it. It's cleaning up really well. Let me let you see a little closer up the texture. I'm going to use the ladle to kind of give you a visual of what it looks like. There's still some chunks left in there that we're going to go ahead and blend some more. This is a really amazing soup, flavorful. And I'm not going to add any more salt because when I made the broth, I added some salt to the broth mixture myself. So if you don't want to make broth, you can also buy a little carton of low sodium vegetable broth for this. It's so good. It smells so good. But I will definitely give you the times and the measurements that I used today. I would still recommend half that 8 ounces of vegetable broth handy because the sizes of the butternut squashes can vary, so you may very well still need it. But start off with a little. It's always, you You can always add, but you can't take away. So just go with a little bit at a time. 6 ounces, just enough to cover your squash and carrot mixture. All right, I think we got it all. It's amazing. It smells so good. Yeah. It's nice creamy texture. There's a few pieces left, but look at that. Look at that. So smooth, so delicious, so soothing. Let me go a little bit more. There's a few more pieces of squash I see in there, so we're gonna get it a little bit more. Tilt it a little bit so those big pieces can kind of go to the side. Where I purchased mine from if you decide to get one. I know it was definitely a little over $50 or something like that. Not easy to clean up in the blender, but if you have a blender, you have to use it. Even a food processor can work if you don't have a blender. Just make sure you do this in batches and make sure you allow it to cool a little bit before putting in a blender or a food processor. One more time. So you saw the size of the butternut squash that I used, which was a little bit over a pound. It was like 53 cents a pound, I believe, or $1.53 a pound or less, something like that. So it was a little bit over a pound. It wasn't 2 pounds. Got it. Okay. Let's go ahead and plate this up. Yeah, we got it all this time. Let me get in a little closer for you. Yeah, there we go. See that? Super beautiful. Here. Oh, I'm gonna enjoy this. I need it too with the allergies. Been driving me absolutely insane. Practicing not beating my pots. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and garnish with a little bit of the green onion I had prepared earlier and the toasted pumpkin seeds. And I get the raw pumpkin seeds. There we go. Yum. Let's take a bite and see what we have here. Creamy deliciousness. Oh my God. This is so good, guys. So earthy, so amazing. I hope you enjoyed today. Thanks for hanging out with me. I hope you make this soup. Have a great rest of your weekend. So good. And I will talk with you guys soon. Have a great rest of your day. Bye-bye for now. Hey guys, I noticed after looking back, I kept saying 6 ounces or 8 ounces for the broth. It was actually 8 cups. So my apologies to you for that. I'll see you soon in the next video.